bit upsetting for me. My Snowbee G-XS rod decided to break, so I'm going to do a repair on it. This is the one of the middle sections, and this is the joint. And I was fishing a very small river the other day, and I hadn't had the rod out for a year. It's always been in its case and its box, and I was just gently going to flick the line no more than 5 yards to a rising fish, and the section just snapped away like that, leaving this part in the other piece. So, me being me, not wanting to finish the day, I thought, I'll know what I'll do. I'll then stick this part on that top section into there, so that at least I can carry on fishing. If I'm very gentle, nothing should happen. But then it broke for a second time. So the first break is totally clean. There's no sign of any impact damage, crushing or anything. The second break is a lot more jagged, and luckily enough, I've got an old rod that's sort of past its sell-by date, and I've robbed the rings off it, and it's had calamities in the past. And I've cut a section off the top, which I'm going to then araldite and join all these pieces together. I actually put it on a set of salter scales just to see what the weight was, and it didn't even register as a gram. So it's an incredibly light piece of rod, coming from actually a heavier line rated rod than this one. This Snowbee rod is a 1 weight line rating. Actually, I think it's more like a 2.5 in practice, but this piece of blank is off a 6 weight rod, so it's quite a bit tougher. I'm very careful when I'm fishing with my rod, so I don't do what you see a lot of newcomers do with fishing, where they bend the rod in a tight radius. So if you take the fly rod like this, and then you get a fish on and drag it to you, you can bend the rod in that sort of very tight radius like that, which then makes sure that it's going to snap. So you always want to hold your arm away from your net so that you can bend the rod in that kind of progressive curve, and then there won't be a breakage. So this Snowbee rod is a little bit out of guarantee, and I thought, well, I'll just, supposed to be a lifetime's warranty, I'll send it back. But they're charging £60 for a handling charge, and I don't think £60 is justified, because if you buy one of the lot cheaper rods, the handling charge is only £20, and I would have thought that they would assess whether the rod has been broken through bad treatment or brute force, and adjust their handling fee accordingly. So in other words, if it's a manufacturing defect, which this is obviously is, there's no handling charge, just to keep their reputation up. So, seeing as I generally don't sell my old rods off, I usually cut them up for some reason or other, or give them away to somebody, I thought I'll repair this and save the £60. In case you're wondering how on earth do you manage to source bits of carbon fibre if you're going to repair rods in a similar way to this, one suggestion for you is to buy one of these cheap coarse fishing poles that come from China. You can get them often for £10 or less, and if you unscrew the base, there's a multitude of rod sizes in here for ideal for repairs. So even though these particular carbon poles aren't particularly strong, if you thread one piece within another and glue them up, you'll get it strong enough for what you want to do with the rod. Now I've got some Aldite Rapid mixed up, and sorry, not Aldite Rapid, Aldite Standard. The Rapid one tends not to be so strong, it tends to be more elastic than the Standard. So I've roughened up this bit of carbon tubing and tested it as it fits okay, and I've marked a little felt tip mark there so that I've pulled it far enough down so that it can still go into the next section, and then my broken bit of rod will then get matched up on here, and then the tip will just fit finely on there. So given enough time for everything to set, it will be a really neat repair. But I will over whip these two joints with a bit of strong fly tie material, just to stop any tendency for the carbon fibre to fray. Often when anything carbon breaks, you find that there's little hairline cracks and fractures that if you don't stop them from spreading, they'll radiate out, and then I'll have another broken rod. So the important thing is here is that I don't push the glue so far up that it interferes with the joint. So to do that, I've got another bit of carbon from one of these poles, and I'll just snap a bit off. See, this is the surprising thing with carbon. You see how easily it is for that to break. Now, usually if you get a breakage through brute force, you'll get all this fluffing, and that's why I'm convinced that this is a manufacturing defect, with that break being so clean. It's like a bit of glass tubing that's broken. Right, that's my little prodding instrument. When you're mixing up Aldite, don't be mean with it, because even though you only need a little bit, if you squeeze out too little, you can often end up with a situation where you've got maybe 70% hardener as opposed to the glue itself, and it's designed to be completely balanced. Equal amounts of adhesive and hardener. And I hope this is coming out alright on the video. Got my little plastic doofer here, give that a stir. Be careful if you're doing a rod repair. Don't be tempted to buy some of the new ultra strong epoxy glues, because one or two of those have no flexibility whatsoever, and although they test well in tests of bonding a nail or a bolt or something to a bit of metal, where you have something like a fishing rod where it needs to be able to flex, they're too brittle. Right, here we go. So this piece here is an extension from that piece, and I've put a mark on it which shows the length of the overlapping joint. So by inserting that in there first, I can put some adhesive up the tube without completely clogging up the joint. So I'll roll that around in there a bit. You want to try and visualise, if you can, that all the side wall of this bit of tube in here on the blank is getting coated. Find this old standard aldite reaches its full strength in about 2 days. So I won't tempt fate and take it out fishing until it's had plenty of time to set properly. Right, that's that bit done. Stage 2 is to push this in. It will knock out quite a bit of the adhesive, but there will be enough left in to ensure that there's something for the rod to stick to. So pull it out and I see the red mark. There we are, that's it. No, this is just a straightforward cover the whole thing. And again, push some adhesive down into there, into that broken piece. Now, clamp your, if you're doing this or a similar repair yourself, clamp your fingernail really tight on this piece of tubing, because you don't want to push it right back up towards the joint, which you don't want to do. That's mated nicely. It's quite annoying when you get a rod breaking, because even if you get it fixed or a part replaced, you never quite have the same confidence in it. Because you're wondering when it's suddenly going to go. And again, fingernail next to the top of that other piece so that it doesn't get pushed in. wiggle it round like the adhesive work. And what I'm looking for is to match it up with the original braid, that is. Line up the rings. Rings lined up. So now that will be left alone for a few hours until this has gone quite firm, and then I'll over whip the broken sections to add a bit of extra strength. See you in a while. Okay, so I'm back with a repaired rod in the very pool where the rod broke. As you can see, it's a very small pool, and I've been sitting here for about 20 minutes, and one or two fish have started to rise quite close to me. So I'm going to have a flicky in and hope that the rod holds together. I'm using one of my little parachute flies. I can see a good fish quite a bit further up the pool, but I'm just going to have a go at a couple of little ones here. As always, it starts dragging when it shouldn't do. Well, that's a good start. Up a tree. Brilliant. Right, in front of me is a bit of streamy water, only a few feet away. Although it's close, it's an awkward little flick, and there's two different trout in it. So I'm hoping I can get one of them to rise. Gosh, I did, and that was it. On and off. It's a shame. Yeah, that's the joy of about 1 pound, 1.5 pound breaking strain. Broken. Never mind.